Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, Miss. My name is Ade Ismalia from class 2K P3 NPM 20121200074. Here I will answer question was English for accounting. First question: what accounting is? Accounting is measurement, processing, and communication of financial and non-financial information about economic entities such as business and corporation. Second question: why accounting very important in the world? The answer: as a service activity, accounting collect and process company transaction data to fulfill several things such as a. The need for external parties for financial information concerning the company and compliance with statutory provision. B. The need for internal parties or management for the information needed to plan, implement, and control the company operation. Accounting as an information system. Accounting identifies, measures, and communicates financial information concerning an entity to make a decision. Therefore, the main task of accountant is to provide information to help users make decisions. These economic decisions determine how limited economic resources are allocated to the interests of the company. As an information system, accounting assists the public in determining the type and quantity of goods and services to be provided, how many goods or services sold be provided, when goods the service sold be provided, and so on. Third question: what the function of every component of financial reporting? Answer: A. The income statement is a combination of income and expense that must be issued by the company concerned. B. The report on change in capital is a report that pays attention to the development of capital owned by the company from time to time. C. The balance sheet report is useful for knowing the company's wealth in a specific period can be known in more detail. D. The cash flow statement is a standard report that explains in detail and also in detail about the company's cash. E. Notes to financial statement are notes to financial statement which are synergies from balance sheet reports, cash flow reports to budget realization reports made using the narrative method. Fourth question: what is the difference tangible asset and intangible asset? Tangible assets are relatively permanent fixed assets that are used in the normal activity of the company. The term relatively permanent indicates the nature of the asset in question that can be used for a relatively long period of time. Tangible fixed assets owned by a company can be in various forms, such as land, building, machinery, vehicle, furniture, and so on. The classification of tangible fixed assets can be divided into 4 groups, namely: 1. Land used as a place to build company buildings. 2. Land improvements such as roads around the company site being built for parking lots and fences. 3. Buildings such as office, shop, factory, and warehouse. 4. Equipment such as office equipment, factory equipment, machinery, vehicle, and furniture. Intangible asset. In addition to tangible fixed assets, there are also intangible assets that are very important for the company. Intangible assets are a type of company fixed asset that cannot be physical state. Examples of intangible assets are patents, copyright, brands, research field, legality, deferred development fees, and natural resource exploitation rights. Intangible assets obtained by purchase but generally acquired because it was developed by the company itself. 5 question. I choose shareholder. A shareholder is a person or legal entity that legally owns one or more shares in a company. The shareholders are the owners of the company. Company who list on the stock exchange seek to increase their share price. Shareholders also need an income statement because the income statement can be defined as a summary of the company activity in a certain period. This report describes the net result or profit or losses incurred or loss from all types of business activity carried out by the company. This helping shareholders in making a decision. 6th question. The biggest scandal accounting in the world. The S&P Finance case Deloitte. Basically, the loan agreement between S&P Finance and its creditors, banks, is a mutualistic corporation. S&P Finance needs funds. Banks also need to extend credit. But in the course of time, it turns out that Columbia's retail business, which is the parent of S&P Finance, has experienced a setback. What caused it? We can see that customer buying behavior has changed. Consumers are no longer shopping for furniture and electronic products by coming to the store, but they prefer to buy online through their gadget. Starting from price survey, product specification surveys to purchase, everything is done online. Even these online shops also provide interest-free credit facilities, 0% interest, for tenors of up to 12 months. This changing condition of customer buying behavior has hit Columbia's market share, and of course also has an impact on S&P Finance. The result is that S&P Finance credit to the bank's creditors has become problematic. In financial terms, it is called non-performing loan or NPL. What did S&P Finance do to overcome its debt to the bank? S&P Finance opens a new funding channel through the sale of medium-term debt security, called MTN, medium-term notes. MTN is similar in nature to bonds, only the term is medium, while bonds have a long term. This MTN is rated by Pevindo Indonesian Security Rating. And again, that Pevindo always gives a rating, one of which is based on S&P Finance financial statements audit by Deloitte. Initially, the rating of S&P Finance securities since December 2015 until 2017 was even then it rose to in March 2018. But not long after, in May 2018, when this case began to unfold, S&P Finance securities bond dropped to CCC, even in the same month down again to SD, or selective default. The default in plain language is default. Next, S&P Finance proposed a deferment of debt payment obligation, or PKPU, amounting to approximately 4,7 triliun rupiah, consisting of bank loans of 2,22 triliun and MTN of 1,85 triliun. Why do debtors and MTN holders want to trust and channel credit to S&P Finance? Because initially payments from S&P Finance were smooth, and the creditors also analyzed the financial health of S&P Finance through its financial statement, which were audited by a well-known public accounting firm, namely Deloitte. However, it turned out that there was falsification of data and manipulating of financial statements by the management of S&P Finance. Among them is creating facetious receivables through fictitious sales. These receivables are pledged as collateral to creditors, as an excuse that later, when the receivables are billed, this money will be used to pay off debt to creditors. To support this action, S&P Finance provides a facetious document containing Colombia customer data. It is unfortunate that Deloitte asked its auditor file to detect any fraudulent schemes in S&P financial statement. Thank you. Enjoy this video. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.